Hey everyone. Today I'm going to try to attempt to answer a question so many people are asking. What is a trinary worth? I've been seeing videos of people saying you can sell these on eBay for this much, these are worth this much. I hear all kinds of stuff about what a trinary is worth. And, let's answer that question once and for all today. That's the goal of this video. All right. So first, let's tackle why people collect trinaries. Um, People get trinaries for the simple reason that you can find them. Okay, there's your first hint that there's a problem. Uh, why don't we go way back? All right, um, computer programmers would design programs and they would use a code called the binary code, which was simply a series of ones and zeros. Now, a computer programmer looked at a dollar bill and said, wouldn't it be cool to find a $1 bill that had a sequence of ones and zeros? And maybe we could even try to figure out what that sequence of ones and zeros would mean in our computer code. Thus, the hunt for a binary started. People were looking for these, a note that had all zeros and ones as its serial number. But there's a problem. When it comes to serial numbers on bills, essentially they make 100 million different serial numbers. That's what happens when you have an 8-digit number. It comes out to 100 million combinations. Now, yes, with $1 bills, they only make 96 million, but we're going to say 100 million just to keep life easier. Anyway, the hunt was on to find a binary, a note of just zeros and ones. Well, if you write out all the different combinations, you can figure out exactly how many different notes there are. And when it comes to a binary like this, out of 100 million combinations, there are only 255 ways to make a binary out of ones and zeros. 255 out of 100 million. That's pretty rare. That's very rare. So with as many people looking for these as possible, they weren't having a whole lot of success in finding these. But every once in a while, they would stumble across a note like this. And this note isn't zeros and ones, but it does only have 2 digits. This note here has 2s and 7s in a random order. So they started calling this a binary, but it wasn't what they were truly looking for. They were looking for this. So this got the name true binary versus a regular binary. Now, like I said, with the true binary, there are 255 of these for every 100 million. But how many regular binaries are there? Turns out there are over 11,400 of these, which sounds like a bunch. It sounds like there's a ton of these out there. But that's out of 100 million. 11,000 out of 100 million is still extremely difficult to find. So now, with people realizing that you just can't find these in circulation, there aren't that many, and understanding how difficult it is to run across one of these, the people that were doing their searches said, well, maybe there's something a little easier to find. Remember, this was the goal. This was one off. It's not exactly what they were looking for, but it was close. So this is a one-off of this. But once they realized how hard these were to find, they went looking for something a little easier. And with that, they ran across notes like this that had 3 different digits. You can see this one has 5s, 6s, and 7s. This is a trinary. A trinary is one off of a binary, which is one off of a true binary. This was too hard, so they went to this. This was too hard, they went to this. Now remember, a true binary, there are only 255 of them per 100 million. A regular binary has 11,400 per 100 million. But as for your good old trinary, there are 695,000 of these. 695,000, 11,255. Can you understand the difference in rarity there? Huge, huge difference in rarity. But can we put any prices on this stuff? Can we get a gauge somehow? Well, let's do this. I've got this book here. This is called The Green Guide of Fancy Serial Numbers. And inside, let's flip to the page about binaries and trinaries. And here they list a true binary. Like I said, the odds of finding one are there's 255 out of every 100 million. And they list the value at over face value, OFV, and you can see it says $25 to $500. That's what they list. They give a broad range, and that's good. But we're going to take that big number, that $500 number. We're going to break it down using that, okay? Do I think that my binary is worth $500? No, I do not. But we're going to use that number for argument's sake. Okay. If this is worth $500, how rare is this true binary compared to a regular binary? True binary, 255 out of 100 million. Regular binary, 11,400 out of 100 million. That means this is 50 times easier to find. For every one of these that you find, you will find 50 of these. So if we're talking about rarity, and we're putting the price at this one at $500, if it takes 50 of these to equal $500, what does that put one of these at? Well, that means one of these would be worth 10 bucks. Is that the going rate? I don't know. I don't think so. Well, could be. But that seems fair. If this is worth 500 and it's 50 times harder to find than this one, then this one should be worth 1/50th. And that's the way to look at it. 50 of these should equal this. And to make that price work out, that means this would be $10 if we're saying this is worth $500. And I'm not even saying that this is, but like I said, the book had the highest price at $500. So based on the rarity, if this is 500, that puts this at 10. So what do we talk about with the trinary? Well, just so you can see that I'm not making up the numbers, let's take another peek at the book. And there on the top part is a regular binary. And you can see 11,430 on a regular binary. And if I turn the page, trinary, 695,220. Okay? It's neat that the number works that way, and this is what I mean. You will find 50 of these for every one of these you find. And based on those numbers, you will find at least 50 trinaries for every binary you find. Which means if you had 50 trinaries, these 50 trinaries would be worth as much as one binary. And we've already discovered the fact that based on rarity, this is worth 10 bucks. So if it takes 50 of these to equal $10, what does that put the value of this at? That puts the value of a trinary at 20 cents. 20 cents. Not 20 cents over face value, 20 cents. $500, 50 times easier to find, so worth 50 times less, that's $10. 50 times easier to find than that, 20 cents. Do you see how the math makes that easy to determine the value? And once again, using this as the $500 level. And I'm not saying that this is worth $500, but If this is worth less than 500, then the trinary is worth less than 20 cents. But we all know it's still worth at least $1. So there's that. Now, people like to say that you can sell trinaries on eBay for $5 to $10 a piece. And you probably can, but that doesn't mean that they're worth anything. That means that somebody scammed somebody else. If you take your trinary to a dealer, no dealer is going to give you anything over face value for a trinary. If you go to a dealer and ask to buy trinaries, they aren't going to have any because they have a reputation to uphold. Now, let's take this a step further. All right. Let's say little Johnny. Little Johnny is between 8 years old and 14 years old. Little Johnny does not have a job. Little Johnny does not have a lot of money. But little Johnny does have an iPad, and he watches a little bit of YouTube, and he watches a YouTuber called Stupid Currency. Yeah, Stupid Currency. And he likes watching Stupid Currency because Stupid Currency shows notes that are worth a lot of money. Now, little Johnny, even though he's only 8 to 15 years old, doesn't have a whole lot of cash, and he sees beautiful notes like this and just doesn't have $200 to spend on one of these in really nice shape. He'd really like to get one, but being a small child, doesn't have the means to do it. So little Johnny decides he's going to watch other YouTube channels as well. And he watches one called Dumb King Currency. Yeah, that's it. And while he's watching Dumb King Currency, he sees that Dumb King Currency has thousands of followers. And Dumb King Currency has channels on other things as well. And he's on eBay, and he's on TikTok, and he's got thousands of people that follow him. Well, he must be legit. He must be real. And Dumb King Currency talks about finding this note here, a trinary. And Dumb King Currency tells all of his followers that this is worth $5 to $10. And he then puts it up on eBay. Now, little Johnny just cut the grass and has $10 in his pocket. And he goes on eBay and he sees that he can indeed get this trinary for $5 to $10. But little Johnny doesn't have permission to spend money on eBay. He's only 8 to 14 years old. So little Johnny goes to his mother and says, "Ma, I've got $10. I want to buy this off of eBay." And then proceeds to show his mom Dumb King Currency's eBay page showing all these notes. He shows Dumb King's YouTube videos showing him saying these notes are worth that much money. And then goes into sold results and shows notes that were sold for that price. So little Johnny's mom takes little Johnny's $10 and buys the trinary for little Johnny. Little Johnny has now spent $10 on this trinary. And Dumb King Currency has another buyer to which he can then show other people that his note is worth $5 to $10. So little Johnny's all excited about his purchase. And next week goes on by, and he cuts the grass again, gets another $10. Repeats the process with mom. Little Johnny does this all summer long. And over the course of the summer, buys 15 of these bills. Little Johnny's birthday's coming up. So he tells Grandma, "Grandma, go on eBay and buy me some of these." And Grandma goes on eBay and buys 5 more of these. So now little Johnny has the end of the summer come up, and he has 20 of these trinaries that he, his ma, and his grandma have all paid $10 a piece for. So little Johnny realizes that at $10 a piece for 20 notes, that's $200. And the note that he initially saw was $200. So little Johnny goes to his local coin shop to turn in his trinaries so that he can actually buy something that's worth some money. And what does little Johnny find out when he gets to the coin shop? Little Johnny finds out from the coin shop dealer that even though him and his family have spent over $200, because you have to add in tax and shipping, on trinaries, his $200 for the trinaries are only worth face value. His entire summer is gone. Every penny he made all summer is gone, and he has $20 to show for it. Did anybody do anything wrong there? Who's the bad guy? Who's the bad guy? I say that dumb king currency is the bad guy for telling everybody that this stuff is worth money. Who got hurt? Little Johnny. Do you think Little Johnny or Little Johnny's mom or Little Johnny's grandma are ever going to buy currency again, or let Little Johnny ever buy currency again after he just got ripped off? So anybody who wants to sit out there and say buyer beware, I have 2 letters for you. I'm not going to say them here. If you are the type of person who will sell something to the highest bidder regardless of what it's actually worth, then you deserve all the hate coming to you. But if you actually have something that's worth value, people will pay for it. You don't need to make videos touting how valuable your stuff is. That's the thing that drives me crazy the most, is when someone says, well, buyer beware. No. Don't be the scammer. Don't be the person selling garbage notes for more than face value. I don't care how many YouTube channels are out there saying that trinaries are worth money. They're not. I'm not even going to tell you how many I saw today trying to claim this. In fact, my recommendation to you is, if you see any channel ever telling you that a trinary is worth more than face value, I would simply unsubscribe. Don't have that in your feed. You don't need to support people who support scammers. A trinary is worth 20 cents. If this is worth 500, and I don't think this is worth 500. If this is worth 100, that means this is worth 5 cents. Luckily, it's still $1. All right. How much more can I put into the trinary story? Well, once again, trinaries are not rare. How common are trinaries? Well, if they're 695,000 per 100 million, that turns out to be one in about every 200. There's 100, there's 100. So there'll be, on average, one trinary in every 2 straps you search. Every week for the last 4 years, you've seen me search 1,000 singles. Every week. And every week you can see me pulling, on average, 5 trinaries. I save trinaries not because I think they're worth money, but because I'm trying to match serial numbers. By picking trinaries, that narrows down the number of notes that I actually have to keep. I have successfully found matched pairs. That is why I collect trinaries. Not because trinaries are worth anything, but because it is a smaller segment of notes that I can choose to keep to try to match numbers. It's better than saving every single I ever come across, hoping to pair numbers. That's insane. All right, so when it comes to saving my trinaries, like I said, trying to match serial numbers, but how many have I actually saved? Well, trinaries are rare if you believe there's something worth more than face value. If they're not rare, why would you pay more than face value? This is my box of trinaries. There's roughly, 1,500 in here. If I have 1,500 trinaries, if I have 1,500 of these, how rare is that? If you think a trinary is worth $2, that means this box is worth $3,000. Would you rather have this box for $3,000, or would you rather have an actual $1,000 bill? It's crazy to think that people put insane values on these particular notes. Like I said, it's just a trinary. It's not rare. Anyway, that's what I've got for you guys on trinaries. They're worthless. You want to save them? Great. You want to sell them? Shame on you. But if you want to buy them, why? 255 out of 100 million. 11,400 out of 100 million. 695,220 out of 100 million. Not rare. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Go get those sellers that are trying to scam people. It shouldn't just be me out here. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.